and wind this Sunday down and let's get ready to go. I want to talk to y'all about a few things. Let's chat this Sunday evening and let's bring in Monday on a different note. I would love to
Going
just
on. It's the
share.
Sunday
Let me
wind
make
down.
sure I
Y'all,
got my mute off. I would love to just talk about some of the things that I've been thinking about and hear about some of the things that you've been thinking about as we prepare for this new week. The week has already started. Today is Sunday. And so let's do this a little different. One of the things that I want us to know is that each week doesn't have to be the same. Like if you normally do the same routine every Sunday night and get ready for work and then do the same thing Monday through Friday, you can add a little flavor to it. So one of the things that I want to talk to you all about and make sure that we're understanding is the power in telling our story. It's the power in telling our story, people. So many of us have amazing stories. We have amazing testimonies. We can be such a source of inspiration and motivation for other people. And just sharing your story will help lift somebody else out of the funk that they're in, help move them to the next stage that they're in, and just give them the strength to know if she can do it, I can do it too. But we won't tell our story. And I just want to remind y'all of a little something. I know that we get worried about what people are going to think about us. I know we get worried about people judging us and how foolish we're going to look. And I just want to remind us that that's ego. But our good sister Tabitha Brown, the way that she made it to her this level of success that she's in right now is simply through telling her story, stepping in her truth, and doing the thing that she didn't want to do. But even more recently, y'all, what about this girl, Risa Tisa? I think it's Risa. Yeah, Risa Tisa. Risa Tisa got on there to tell her story. When I say she got on there to tell her story, now I ain't had time to watch it, so I had to get some summaries going. But some of y'all watched it, and that's okay. I'm not judging you if you watched the 50-part series. I just didn't have time to. But y'all watched it, and she told her story, and that wasn't something that you would be proud of. Like she went through a lot of stuff. She saw a lot of red flags. There were a lot of things that were going on that she had to be accountable for. But look at where the sister is now. That sister got a trip to Paris. That sister got her new car. She's all on the Tamron Hall show, Good Morning America, all from telling her story. See, some of us, we are so caught up in trying to make it look good that we're not thinking about how we can bless other people, how we can help other people, how our talents and gifts can move somebody else to the next stage. I always tell people if you're at a 3, you can help the twos, the ones, and those who have not even gotten started. We always think, I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. It's always somebody who has less than you, who can use that word that you have for them, who can use everything that you've been through to help them get to their next stage. And so even when I think about that girl, Beyonce dropped her new country song, which brought light to the other folks, Black folks who were doing country songs. And so that girl, Tanner Adele, she had already been doing it on TikTok and all, the other platforms. But y'all, these people didn't have no followers when they started. They started at zero. They started just like everybody else. They didn't have 100K following them. They didn't have people beating their doors down. Baby, when Risa Tisa pressed that play button, Risa Tisa didn't have no 300K following. I want us to stop thinking that we need to have all of these people who are following us and who are doing things and who are sending us messages and requesting our services. It all starts with a dream. It all starts with a dream. All I want to ask you is, do you have a dream? Do you have a dream? See, because some of us, we've stopped dreaming. We got to get back into the dream. We got to get back to the place where we can dream and hope and have faith and know that it's something bigger and better for us. So when Tab was trying to do her thing, Tab was older. Tab wasn't no little girl trying to do this. Tab was in her late 30s. She's in her 40s now. But she had to go on live. Some of y'all scared to go live on y'all page. Some of y'all are aware. Dina says you are so right. Yeah, so let's press the live button. You never know where the person is who needs to hear your story. Some of y'all so scared to go live. You talk all that mess. I ain't got nobody on my page. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me. Well, what if I mess up? Well, what if I say something wrong? Guess what? It's a part of the process. It's okay. If you say something wrong, apologize and move on. What if they don't like it? It's okay. Everybody's not gonna like it. Everybody. Do you think that everybody likes Tabitha Brown? But why would we give attention to the people who don't like us? Stop, don't give that attention. Give attention to the people who you blessing. You think when I come on here, everybody like my message? No. People criticize me, people judge me, people say all types of stuff. I worry about the ones that I'm helping. The ones who, as I'm sharing my tidbits and my truth, that they send me a message and say that really helped me. Just like Dina said, you're so right. That let me know this is helping somebody. I'm not going to worry about the people who say, I wish she shut up. She always got something to say. Because guess what? Those wasn't the people I was talking to. No way. We got to stop giving power to people who don't belong in your life. No way. We got to stop worrying about the people who ain't doing nothing with their lives. And so we're not doing the thing that we're supposed to do because they're not doing the thing they're supposed to do. We can't control them. And so they all started from zero. When Risa Tisa pressed that button to do that part one, do you think she waited to blow up before she did part two? No, she did part two, then she did part three, then she did part four. That sister got all the way to 50 parts. Do you think she was sitting back waiting on y'all to say, come on, give us the next part? No, baby, she already had them parts mapped out. She already knew what she was going to say. She was sharing from the kindness of her heart so that other people might be able to hear it and decide, I'm not going to make the same mistake. She knows she made a mistake. She knows that she passed up a lot of red flags. She knows that what she did, she wouldn't recommend it to nobody else. She owned it, therefore she was able to share it. So my question for you is, have you owned your past? That thing that you did that you don't want nobody to know about, that thing that you're scared to share, why you won't press that button and go live. We're in the world of social media, and in the world of social media, this is free advertisement for you. This is the ability to connect with people that you could never be in the room with. This is the ability to create an audience, to create a fan base, and to connect with people who are hundreds of thousands of miles away from you. But we are worried about what people will think. We're not worried about what people will think. We're likely only worried about what one person will think. And who is that one person for you? Who is that one person for you? Is it that family member? Are you worried about once you go live and do whatever you're going to do, that family member is going to call the other family member and say, girl, did you see her? She went live. Did you hear what she had to say? I guarantee you that person is miserable. I guarantee you. And so you're going to let the miserable person dictate your life. So I'm just saying, it all starts with a dream. And if you have a dream, stop letting other people get in the way of your dream. Stop second guessing yourself. Stop wondering if you're good enough. You wouldn't have the dream if you're not good enough. But this is what I can tell you. And you can't take this. You can't tell me no other way. The Lord ain't gonna bless it until you take action. See, a lot of us, we're praying and praying and praying the same prayer over and over. Baby, you're canceling the prayer out, steady praying it, because that means you're in doubt. You didn't believe that the first time you prayed for it, that it was on its way, it was en route, it was being delivered to you. And so you keep praying that same prayer. And the Lord said, this girl ain't talking about nothing. Let me go on about my business. But the way that you show that you have faith and that you believe in the thing, the dream that's in you and the thing that you prayed for, is that you take action. It's not taking action knowing what the result will be. It's taking action understanding that this is a faith walk, that I believe, therefore I am going to do something to show you that I believe in this. See, some of us want to have this faith thing, but we think that it just consists of just hoping and dreaming. You got to do some things. You got to do some things. Hey, saying 1123. Who is that? Dr. Hall, Sandra Hall. Hey. And so we got to do some things. Hey, mental mommy. Hey. And so we got to do some things, people. And a lot of times the thing that we have to do is step out on faith. And when we step out on faith, let me tell you, when Tab pressed that button, remember she said, I'm talking about Tabitha Brown, for those who are just joining me. Remember, she said she didn't want to go and do that on social media because she considered herself a real actress. And she didn't believe that social media they would view that as being a real actress. And here it is, but she took action. She pressed that button and she started sharing her story. She started sharing her struggle. She started helping other people. And then she blew up. Think about Risa Tisa. When Risa pressed that button, she knew. Ain't no way Risa Tisa didn't press that button and know these folks finna talk about me. I done been a zip doggone fool and done all types of crazy stuff. It's been 1,062 red flags that's been put in my face, and I just keep going forward. She knew when she pressed that button that not everybody was going to receive her message in the same way. And yet she kept making part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, because it wasn't dependent upon what people thought, and it wasn't dependent upon how many views she got, and it wasn't dependent upon how much money she made. She was there to serve and to share her testimony to try to help somebody else. It's a lot of y'all out here with stories. You have things that you've been through that can help somebody else. You have strategies that you've used that can support other people. But it all starts with telling your story. What is your story? And do you have a dream for yourself? So I just wanted to come here on this Sunday wind down as I'm winding down my Sunday too. And that's right. Then she said, faith without works is dead. So as I like to end my or begin my week thinking about how amazing my week is going to be and what I want to think about this week and what plays I want to put in place and what actions I need to take, and just really end the evening in a very uplifted position. And a lot of you all are, some of the things that I think about, like preparing for the next phase. A lot of you all are preparing for your next phase of life. You're at that point where you can either retire or you need to move away from your current job that you're at. You're ready to do something that's really going to bring you joy. Most of our kids are grown or near grown. My youngest is 17. He'll be 18 this year. So he'll be 18 this year, and then he'll graduate next year. And then all of my kids will be grown. And so that opens up the ability for me to do things that I couldn't do when they were kind of growing up. And, because I needed to have a stable home. I love to travel, but I couldn't travel as much when they were younger because they were in school. And so now that I have a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 24-year-old, like I don't have a lot of, constraints and whatnot. But as you prepare for the next phase, I really want you to think about what you want your next phase to be about, what you want it to look like. I went to brunch with my good girlfriend on Saturday, and she didn't even send me a message. She sent me a reservation invite. And if you're going, you press the button on open table and you say that you're going. So she sent me a reservation invite. And I said, you know what, let me go to this because I need to make sure that I'm, creating strong relationships. And I'm thinking about my future. Like a lot of us are in our 40s, headed into our 50s. And I watched this video the other day. It was so sad to me. It was so sad. And you can go back. It's on YouTube. And the title of it was, I'm 50 with no friends. The title of it is, I'm 50 with no friends. And if we can be real for a moment, like, let's be real for a moment. When I listened to her as she was talking, it was on YouTube. And the title of it is, I'm 50 with no friends. And as I look around and as I talk to people and I pay attention in society as I'm out in public, I notice that this is a real thing. And so as the lady was saying, she said she's 50 with no kids. She said, I'm sorry, with no friends. She said that her kids are grown and she lives alone. And she said that she doesn't miss having friends. She said because she's tired of investing energy into people who lie to her, who don't show up for her, who do all of these things. And she was just saying how, even though she doesn't have any friends, she's okay with it. She's okay with being alone and creating a life of solitude for herself. And let's be honest, we were not meant to live alone. We were not meant to live alone. One of the things that I want us to, really think about, like, when I was looking at her video, the first thing that came to me, and I'm not judging her, I'm telling you what I thought and what came to my mind as she was sharing what friends had done to her and how people didn't show up and all of this. And the one thing that I thought was, what type of friend has she been? And what type of energy is she putting out? And so that's something for us to really think about. Do you really want to be 50 with no friends? And she tells how she got to this place, how she was working every day. She went to work every day from 9 to 5. She got off work. She was tired. She would go home. She would cook dinner. She would, prepare for bed and do her little thing. She would go to the occasional birthday party or whatever. But her life was consumed with work. And so she's a little bit over 50. I think she was like 55 or 56 or something. And so she said that, that was pretty much her life. But then once she retired, she realized that she didn't have any friends. Like, her phone wasn't ringing. People wasn't calling her to go places. And she realized, that she had cut most of the people out of her life. That she had cut most of the people out of her life due to the lies, the mistrust, all of these things. And so what I want us to really think about is, we need the sisterhood. I know some of us have some toxic relationships with our friends, and all of us don't have the best relationship with our family. But I want to encourage us to really consider, sisterhood is necessary. It's necessary. So as I was at this beautiful lunch location that my friend took me to this weekend, as we looked around, the place was filled with women. It was a beautiful place, and it wasn't the cheapest. Let me just say that. It was filled with women. This was on Saturday. We had a Saturday 11 a.m. reservation. It was packed with women. And these were women over the age of 40. Many of them were over the age of 50. Okay. It was packed with women. There was one man in the whole place. And it was so beautiful to see these women. One table was celebrating a birthday. It was all women. They were celebrating a birthday. And I believe that lady was like 63 or something. They were celebrating her birthday. And then another table had 4 women at it. And that was their Saturday get together. And then another table had like 6 or 8 people at it. And, as people came in, it started with 3 of them, then it was 4, then it was 6, then it was 8. And as they came in, they got up and hugged one another and all that good stuff. It was a girls' get together where they came together to have brunch with each other. And the upstairs was filled with women. We took a walk upstairs to see the upstairs because the place was just so beautiful. And so we went upstairs to see the upstairs. And again, it was filled with women. There was one man in the place, only one. And so me and my bestie, we were having a conversation about, isn't this just amazing? Like, how I wondered, like, we were sitting there, we were wondering, did they go to college together? Did they meet each other at work? I wonder, how did they come to be? Because a lot of people don't sustain relationships this long. And we want positive, healthy relationships, not those toxic, jealous, backbiting where they're biting you all in your back. And, that's not what we want. We want positive, healthy relationships. And so I was telling her about our recent cruise. Me and my husband went on a cruise for our anniversary. And I was telling her how we talked to this 83-year-old, it was a couple, and they've been married for 56 years. And the lady was saying how every Tuesday, her and her girl group, they go to brunch on Tuesday. And she was saying how this was the lady talking to me as a younger person. She was giving me advice and knowledge. And so she was saying, you have to have something to look forward to, something to anticipate, because she's 83 and she looks amazing. And she was on an 8-day cruise, okay, with her husband. But you wouldn't be able to tell she was 83 if she didn't tell you she was 83. And so we were having a conversation. She was really shocked that me and my husband had been together for 24 years. And she was, kind of giving us keys to marriage and, all that good stuff, because 56 years, baby, that's a long time. Look here. Woo, Jesus. So anyway, so she was sharing with us how, you need something to look forward to, especially as you get older, you're not working. She was talking about how friends, come and go because many of them will die. Unfortunately, that's the path of life. And as your friend circle decreases, you first have to find a way to increase or bring in new people into your life. You cannot think that you can just hold on to what you got, because like she's 83, she's seen a lot of her friends die. And so she was saying how every Tuesday they go to brunch, and even when she's not feeling well, she says she will work to get better so she can be at brunch, because that gives her something to do, people to talk to, some good laughs, catch up with everybody, and have a good time. So she was saying how during COVID, she really missed it. And she was just saying how, because they meet every Tuesday, it gives her something to look forward to. And what about the people who don't have anything to look forward to? If we think about the people in our lives who have retired, who are no longer at work, who are at home in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, can we be honest about what it is that they really do? And I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying that some of us, I know from my own life, all of my people who are 60, 70, 80 years old, they are at home. They're watching TV. They got their shows. They sit down. They watch those TVs. They're at that house. They are on social media now. So social media takes up a piece of their time, but they're not taking trips, going on cruises, having book clubs, doing weekly brunches. They're not doing all these things. They are absorbed with their kids' lives, trying to make sure they babysit the kids and all those good things. And so I just want us to really think about the sisterhood. We talked to another guy, and he was there with a group of men. And he said that him and his guy friends, they take a trip every year. He said they actually do 2 trips every year. He said one of them is a cruise every year, and the other one, they travel to all of the stadiums in the United States. So he said there are 50 stadiums in the US. And he said their goal is to visit all 50 of the stadiums. We talked to another guy. Now, notice the theme here. We talked to another guy, and he said him and his buddies love to golf. And so their goal is to visit amazing golf courses throughout the world. So every year they plan a trip to a different golf course, and they get in a good 9 rounds of golf. They eat some good food. He said they stay there for 3-4 days, but that they look forward to that every year. He said they drink some bourbon, smoke them some cigars, go and do their golfing for 2 days, and get them a good meal, and they go home. And they said they look forward to this every single year. And as I was talking to them, and I was doing a lot of listening, my husband was in the conversation, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I said, I wonder what the women do. Like, what are women doing? And like, even when I think about my own sister, I have a sister who's 56, and we're her friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was 5 of us. It's 4 of us now because one of my sisters passed, but we're each other's friends. I am one of the few who has friends outside of my sisters. So like, I have friends outside of my sisters. I have a group of girlfriends who we have each other's back, and we count on each other to lift us up when we are in a poor mental space, to take us out when we're going through crisis in our lives. One of our good girlfriends, she just lost her dad. And so we know that it's not the time when the person dies that's hard. It's the time when everybody is gone, the funeral is over, all of that is done. Hey, curiosity, the antidote. That's right. Curiosity is the antidote. Always be curious. I love that. So we know that it is when, all of the noise is gone, that sometimes you need somebody to just come and hang with you and just take you out and just check on you, because, we don't ever check on the strong one. And so she just lost her dad. She laid him to rest at the beginning of February. We've been checking on her, and, this is March. We are taking her out this month just to check in, to make sure she's okay, to give her some things to look forward to. We're going to a rooftop experience. We're going to have some amazing food, some drinks. We're going to catch up. We're going to, see how she's been doing, and see, help her with any additional stuff that she needs to get done, or talk her through some stuff. But We got to have these people in our lives. Let me see, what else am I dealing with? But I really want us to think about this over 50 as we move into this next phase of life. We really have to plan for that. That's not something that you can haphazardly go into, or you're going to end up just like the people that were before you. And baby, let me tell you, I plan for my 50s, 60s, and 70s to be filled with baby. Look here, I want to have a movie of the month every month. Me and my girlfriends, we go to a movie. I want to have a book club, the book that we're reading, because when you stop learning and growing, that's when you dying. And I ain't trying to die before it's time for me to die. So we're gonna have us a book club, and we're gonna meet once a month for the book club. We're gonna go to a movie every month. Baby, we're gonna have us a weekly brunch, because that's gonna help us to get out the house and give us something to do. We're gonna have a girls trip every single year. We've already started that, and hopefully it'll continue to get bigger. Right now we're at like 12 to 16 people each trip, and as people begin to unfortunately die off, the numbers will get smaller, but we're also recruiting as we go, and we just make our guidelines known. I love bingo. I want to be able to go to bingo. We're starting girls that golf. We're black girls, and we all have businesses, and so we're going to start golfing. And so that's going to be a part of our thing that we do. We're going to start, going to different dance classes, salsa dance and ballroom dancing and all this type of stuff. So that when we go on these trips, everybody knows how to do the waltz. They know how to do, ballroom dancing. They know how to do the salsa. They know how to do the steps, and not the ones we make up, y'all, because, we'll make up some stuff in a minute. Okay. And so we are doing, we like, I can see all of this happening, but somebody has to do it. Somebody has to talk about it. These are conversations that we have to have with our people. These are seeds that we have to plant, and then we have to start planting it. One of the things that I'm working on is my 50th birthday celebration. So my 50th is coming up, and I'm going all out, baby. I don't need nobody else to plan my birthday party. I can plan my own party. When I say we going to have dinner on the beach, we're going to have a day on the yacht, we're going to have a scavenger hunt, we're going to have a day at the spa, we're going out of the country. My travel agent is already on it. She has to find me the perfect location. If y'all know what the perfect location is, put it in that chat over there, okay? Because I'm looking for the perfect location. She's exploring Tulum. She's exploring Cabo. She's exploring the DR, and it was one more. We took Hawaii off because I've been to Hawaii 3 or 4 times, although some of the people who are going with me may not. But right now we have a party of 12 who's going on my 50th birthday celebration with me. And we're going to have an amazing time. That we're looking forward to that. And so what are you planning for yourself? The other thing that, and I'm just talking about the Sunday wind down, y'all, as we're winding down Sunday to prepare for the work week. What are you looking forward to? Each week doesn't have to be the same. What are you going to think about, and what are you excited about? One of the things that I'll be talking about, curiosity, the antidote says, I'm the strong one. You're right. They don't check on us. We need people too. Right. And so we got to get the people. Like, we got to stop continuing to just be the strong one and working through our pain on our own, and go and get your tribe. And it took me years to get my tribe. It took me years and years. But you know what? I started giving here's my key. I treat the right people right and the wrong people wrong. But before now, I was treating the wrong people right and the right people wrong. And so I had to fix myself. I had to start giving time and attention to people who gave time and attention to me. I'm that girl who, for probably 40 years, never received a birthday gift from anybody. I'm that girl who, at the end of the day, you want to send me a happy birthday text at 10 p.m. at night. At 10 p.m. at night, you want to see, I was an afterthought. But for your birthday, I'm there with the gift, nobody around me has a birthday that they don't get their own personalized cupcake from the exclusive deli here. Do you hear me? They get the birthday cake before the sun even comes up. I set an alarm to make sure I'm the first one to say happy birthday. do all of the little the gifts on the phone, gifs, whatever you call them. And I got your present. I got your present. I done put thought into your present because I want you to know that you matter to me. And so I'm taking time out of my day. I plan for birthdays months in advance. When y'all see me on here, if you've ever seen me, like I just did Deal or No Deal for my little nephew my little great nephew who turned 10. The month before that, I did my great niece was turning 12. So I did 12 days until 12. And each day she was able to pull a number and look at that gift and open up that gift. So she got 12 gifts from me. I've thrown my sister's birthday parties. I've thrown baby showers. No one has ever thrown me a party. No one has ever thrown me a party. They barely show up to the parties that I throw for myself. That was back then. And I didn't get gifts. They would send me a message and say happy birthday through text. And so I had to stop and realize I'm the problem. Like I am the problem. So instead of just being mad and upset about it, because I would really be upset that at 10 o'clock at night you're gonna send me a happy birthday text. I really just had this situation to happen with a group of girls who I hang out with, and for their birthdays, I mail stuff out of town. Do you hear me? I mail stuff out of town. I send money. I send gifts. I send champagne and wine. Whatever. It's not stuff that I just throw together. I really think about your personality, what it is you would like. And my birthday came, girl, and the whole day went. Nobody said happy birthday. And I wasn't really paying attention to it because I was on a cruise. And so I was like, oh, my internet was down. So I wasn't really tripping off of it. But then as soon as I hit land, all of those messages start flowing in. That was flowing in. And I realized, I was like, oh, so-and-so didn't send me a message. How about that? And instead of being mad about it, instead of just being mad about it, I put a message in the group chat. And I said, it hurt my feelings that I didn't get a message for my birthday. And you all knew it was my birthday because I was planning a cruise. Y'all knew this. It ain't no way you didn't know it. We talked about this, and y'all done asked how the crew, how the planning been going, who's going, all of this stuff. You done asked all these questions, and I don't have enough thought or capacity in your memory to at least send me a text. But on your birthday, you had gifts at your door the day before your birthday. You had roses at your door the day before your birthday. I sent the one girl roses to her job because she was going through a situation, and I wanted her to know you are cared for. There are people who love you. But that's a me thing. That's not a them thing. I didn't do it for them to give back to me, but there is an expectation that you can at least acknowledge me. And so I told him, I said, that really hurt my feelings that you all did not wish me a happy birthday, let alone get me a gift, but you could at least wish me a happy birthday. And I said, and I understand if financially you can't get me a gift, I'm not requiring you to give me a gift, but I am asking, did you not think that I should get you? What is this relationship is what I wanted to know, because a lot of times we will put a title on a relationship that's not there. And that was the point of clarity, because if you're calling me a friend, a good associate, a good girlfriend, what's the expectations of this? Because apparently I'm getting it wrong. And so we cleared the air, but I wasn't finna walk around mad at them and upset. And so it came down to, yeah, y'all busy and y'all got things to do, but so do I. I run a whole business. I got kids. I got family. I got the same thing y'all got. So why is it that I can remember and you can't? Let's just agree that if we get something, we get something. And if we don't, we won't. But I won't make it an expectation, and y'all won't either. And so we had to come to some agreements and put some grounds to what is the relationship that we have. But we do have to start treating the right people right, and the people who not treating you right, put boundaries around those relationships. Put boundaries around those relationships. And so I just want us to really begin to think about, what are we doing and what are the relationships that we're cultivating as we move forward? Are you in a toxic relationship? Are you in a relationship where you're always giving, 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 and you're not receiving, receiving, receiving? Uh, Kara Cozy says, my family is like that. So, and so we have to really think about, like, are we the problem? Like, that's what I'm always evaluating. Am I the problem? What do I need to change? What area? And a lot of times it's the boundaries. It's the boundaries, and it's us misinterpreting a relationship. And so, like, my folks who I have elevated, I talked to one of my good girlfriends this evening. She's an amazing person. I've only known her for about 2 years. And in that 2 years, she's been a better friend to me than most of the friends that I've had all of my life. And even when I talked to her this evening, she had been going through a situation, and I had not talked to her in like a month because February was filled with a lot of travel for me and a live event. But I had sent a message to check on her, and she had been going through and was having a rough time. And I told her, I said, you know what, February was really busy for me, but that's no excuse. I'm really sorry that I didn't, get to reach out to you. And I want you to never feel like you can't reach out to me, because this is, the relationship that we have. We've determined that we are business besties, that we are aligned through the work that we do, and that in that work there are a lot of struggles. So when you're having a problem or having a hard time, you can call me and I can call you. And she was obviously having a hard time, and I didn't reach out. And sometimes people are just not in the space to be able to reach out, and that's where she was at. She wasn't in a space to be able to reach out, and so she just did the best that she could with what she had. And so we really have to start treating the right people right. Kara Cozy says, I'm the one who keeps it all together, but I stopped that because I wasn't getting anything, no appreciation, right? And so a lot of us in this next stage of our lives, people, we got to find our tribe. We got to find the people who support us, the people who help us to maneuver through our lives, the people who we have fun with, who we can laugh with, who we can grow with. If you're with people who are not growing, you need to leave, like, you got to leave them alone. That was the thing that I had to realize. I was with people who, you ain't read a book, you ain't watched a movie, you ain't did nothing that would grow you to the next level. So you are still literally the same person you were 20 years ago. And here I am, I done turned into 6-7 different people. I done grew, I done evolved, I done turned into 6-7 different people, and you're still trying to hold me to the person that I was when I was 35. I'm no longer that person that I was when I was 35. When I was 35, I was in the school system trying to follow all of the rules, working hard, trying to prove myself to people that I'm valuable. And now that I'm at this big age, I don't give a what you think. I know my value, I know my worth, but then we hang on to these relationships. Y'all don't get me started. But I really want us to think about, what do we need to do to find our tribe? A lot of times it's getting out, going to events, meeting people, and doing the work on ourselves, because light attracts light. And so people always ask me, they say, how do you get such amazing women in your mastermind? Because light attracts light. I'm an amazing woman, and so I attract other amazing women to me, and they come in and we gel. We're able to click. A lot of times we're the responsible ones, we're the independent ones, we're the ones who are thinking about our futures, but we are also the ones who work real hard. We don't get to have a lot of fun, and we're always solving other people's problems. And so I attract these people to me, and we work together to rid ourselves of some of those things that no longer serve us. And so I just really want us to begin to think about that as we move into the next phase of our lives. One of the things that I'm also working on is generational housing. I don't know if any of you all are interested in generational housing, but like I said, I have 3 boys, and I also have sisters. And so we've been considering generational housing. Well, I'm not considering it. Me and my boys have already determined that we're going to do generational housing. And I'm moving. We're all moving. Let me stop saying I'm moving, because we're all moving. But right now, Texas is the place that we've settled on. Although it could change, we're open to changing. But we've determined that, instead of me and my husband having our big house that's $300,000-$400,000, my son going to try to buy a house that's $200,000-$300,000. My other son, how about we all live in one house? Like right now, we're all living in one house. Now, there are some things that need to happen in order for this to work. And I'm doing a lot of work. Oh, she said she's going to Texas too. Yeah, I'm going to Texas. Right now, I'll be in Texas in June, looking at some homes. I won't buy immediately, but we will be in Fort Worth, we'll be in Arlington, we'll be in Plano, we'll be in Cedar Hill. We have 5 locations. It's another one that we're going to be looking at some spots at. But yeah, so we're going to do generational housing. And so, like when you find something that you're interested in doing, again, we're talking about how we wind down our Sunday. So I look at YouTube videos on your generational housing. Oh, she'll be there in May. All right, look here again, anticipation. So we are it's 20 of us coming to Texas for the Black Rodeo on June 15th. So in June, when I'll also be looking at houses, but that's our Juneteenth celebration. So we are going to Texas to the Bill Pickett Black Rodeo. Y'all know we're gonna act a fool. We're gonna have our little cowboy boots on and our hat on and our little matching outfits, because that's what we do, because we're so St. Louis, okay? But yeah, we'll do a barbecue while we're there. We're renting an Airbnb that has 5-6 bedrooms, and we'll have a pool party in the back because there's 20 of us going. And we're gonna have a great time. I have a sister and a niece who lives there, so we got relatives who are there, and we're gonna celebrate Juneteenth there. But again, those are things that we're looking forward to. Yes, we're coming on to Texas, girl. And so those are things that we're looking forward to. So when you look at your calendar, what are you anticipating? What joy have you built into your calendar? These are things that I build into my calendar. I already know what I'm looking forward to. Next month, I'll be at the LeBron game because I always wanted to see LeBron. My husband always wanted to see LeBron play a game. So next month, we're going to see LeBron James play a basketball game. That's in April. Then in June, we're celebrating Juneteenth in Texas at the Bill Pickett Rodeo. And then we're going to a family vacation with the entire family with our oldest relatives who live in Mississippi. That's in August. And so we have all of these things built in. We normally do a cruise around Labor Day, but because we're going on the big family vacation in August, we likely won't do the cruise. We already have our Christmas planned for December, so that the entire family, we always leave from the cold weather in St. Louis to warm weather somewhere else. So we have a Christmas vacation holiday that will be planned in December. In November, I'll be in Belize with my business besties. So I'll be there for 5 days. So when I look at my calendar, I have work to do. I have things to do, but I also have things that I get to look forward to. I have places that I get to go, experiences that I get to have, ways to enlighten myself, in addition to the work that I have to do. So I work to make sure that I've built in joy. I've built in relationships. I've built people into my schedule so that I can have people in my life. And a lot of us, we just go to work and come home and deal with our kids and our immediate family, and that will not sustain us. Not the way that you think it will. So you want to have fun, you want to have joy, you want to have peace, you want to have things that you can anticipate. That's called a sisterhood. You need a sisterhood. Candace says, getting out and talking to people. I've noticed that some still haven't shaken off pandemic lockdown mindset. Getting outside. Yes. So there are a lot of people who are still think that it's the pandemic. Look here. We got to see, a lot of people got to see during the pandemic what life would be like and whether or not they enjoyed the life that they currently have. And now that we're back to regular society, some of us should reflect back to think, did I really enjoy my life during the pandemic? What was I missing? And do I want to continue to exist like that? Because some of us just wanted to act like it didn't exist. But, there are things that we really need to think about. When I think about my generational housing, a lot of times we as Black folks, we don't necessarily put people into nursing homes. I ain't got no plans to go into no nursing home. I'm just saying, I plan to be able-bodied, well, taking care of myself. That ain't even on my horizon. But I'm saying, even now, like when a sister gets sick, it's a sister that's taking care of her. Like her husband is the first line of defense. So like my one sister, she's married. So when she gets sick, her husband is there to take care of her. But like when he goes to work, and the men don't always do right. When he goes to work, we'll check in on her, we'll take her soup or whatever she might need, but we don't override the role of her husband. But what women need to understand, and this is real simple by just looking at the stats, the men typically die before the women. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to kill y'all spouses off, but I'm saying the men typically die before the women. And if you've wrapped your entire life around your children and your husband, your children are going to go, they're going to leave, they're going to get married, they're going to have their own children, they're going to have their own careers, they're going to have their own lives. And then your husband died. What you got left? What you got left? A little depression, a little sadness, all these things that ain't healthy for you. But it's different when you've built your life around your tribe. You should have friendships. You should have, besties that you hang out with, social people. Everybody doesn't have to be your friend. They can be people who you socially hang out with. But we have to understand the difference in the relationships. My business besties, I don't talk to them about my marital relationship. I don't talk to them necessarily about my children. My people who I go to events with, when we're at the events, we're there at the events. We're not talking about all that other stuff. We're talking about the things that we have in common, the dreams that we have, the things that we want to do. My new thing is, like I said, the generational housing. So we have people who are looking for land. I have a friend who wants to build barn dominiums. And so she's looking for land, and she wants to buy enough land, 5-6 acres, where she can build a barn dominium community. I have another friend, and when I say friend, I use that term loosely in this situation. I have another friend who just bought a home in South Africa. And so she has her home in the States, and she has one in South Africa. And so she's invited us out for Christmas next year once the homes are built and all of the furniture and everything is in. And so she'll be going back and forth. You need people in your life who are doing more than you and who are doing different than you to help you to elevate your life. And so I have another friend who we just play Uno together. Like we just literally just play Uno. We love playing Uno. And so you got to have these different people. You don't have to talk to them every single day, but you got to have things that interest you. And so this Sunday evening, as you think about what it is you want to do as the week starts, what some of the things you want to think about, some of the things that you look forward to anticipating, let's begin to dream a bigger dream for ourselves. Let's begin to, really think about what is it that we can do to make our lives better, to bring more joy into our lives. What are we anticipating? What are we looking forward to? And are we doing anything to make that happen? One of my, as I was working in the school system, one of my dreams was I didn't want to have to keep getting up every day at the same time. It was like my life was on repeat. I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, feet on the ground, by 5:07, in the bathroom, 5:10. It was like on auto repeat. At the light at 7:02, pulling into the parking lot at 7:05, parking my car, sitting there on the phone with my mom at the same time every single day. And some of y'all would call that a routine, but we don't realize that that's not living, doing the same thing every day at the exact same time. And the only thing that changed about my day was what would happen at the school. But other than that, it was the same thing. I knew how to handle what happened. I knew what would happen. Like if I come in and the secretary would say, Miss So-and-so called, I could pretty much predict how that's going to go. I could say, oh, she'll be up here in an hour. You let her know when she come. I'm not available. Whatever the situation may be. And then you get home, you get off, you got to go home. It was the same routine over and over. And I got to the point where I was like, God, is this all? Am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And then when I get finished doing this every day for the next 15 years, 13 years, once I get through doing this for all these, yes, it was like Groundhog's Day. And I wanted to know, like, then what? Well, then I was going to be 62, 65 years old. And like we can pretend like we're not going to get old if we want to. But I was like, going on a hike at 62 is not the same as going on a hike at 42. It doesn't hold the same value. It doesn't hold the same excitement. Going to the Grand Canyon at 65 is not the same as going to the Grand Canyon at 45. It's not the same. Standing on that rim, looking over, seeing the color, it's not the same at 65 as it is at 45. And so I said, so I got to wait until I'm 60 something to live. And I don't know if y'all been through the airport lately, but them airports is huge. It takes a lot of energy to get through those airports. Maybe as you get older, you don't even feel like walking that mile, 2 miles in that airport, trying to get on the tram, trying to go get your baggage, trying to get out to get an Uber, trying to do all those things. But they tell us this is when we're supposed to do it. And I'm here to tell you those are lies. Those are lies. You get what you believe you can have. You get what you believe you can have. Hey, Dr. Scott. Hey, facts all day. I would rather do it while I don't have a pocketbook full of medication. It takes Dr. Scott to say that. Because I'm not claiming no medication. I need all of the medication to stay with the doctors. We're going to have good health. But really, it's not the same. It really is not, Dr. Scott. And like people want us to believe that you got all the time in the world. My good girlfriend, her daddy died at 62, the one who just buried her daddy in February. He had worked 33 years for the federal government, 33 years, never got 1 day of pension, never used his vacation, never used his sick time, hadn't missed a day of work in 7 years, was on his way to work when he died, was on his way to work. And that's how they knew something was wrong, because he don't miss work. And when they called to see where was he at, because he don't miss work, she knew something was wrong. She knew it because he don't miss work. And so he didn't get to spend a dime of his pension. But guess what? She gonna get to spend it. I'm just saying. And she gonna get to spend it good too. But he didn't get to spend a dime of his pension. He didn't get to take the days. He didn't do any other things that he continually put off doing until he retired, because he didn't make it through retirement. Don't you know that was somebody's man who died? It's a woman on the other side of this. It's a woman. He wasn't married, but he had a woman. It's a woman on the other side of this who now doesn't have her mate. She ain't got no money because his daughter is his beneficiary. What Dr. Scott said, that's the thanks for all of that time. My goodness, my condolences to your friend. Girl, yeah, you Dr. Scott, that's Dr. McKinley. That's Rashida's daddy. Rashida's daddy, that he died. That's Rashida McKinley. You know, she was at the event. And so, yeah, it was very unfortunate, but it's really eye-opening for us to see, like, we need to live now. We need to stop putting things off. And of all the things that I've ever done, you know, it ain't going to always be easy. It's not going to always be easy. But if you keep your eye on what it is that you want and the dream that you have, and you keep your faith and know, I know the Lord ain't never let me down, not even on my worst days. I've made it through all of my worst days to this day. I've made it through every last one of them. And so I'm not going to believe that I'm going to be let down now. I've had some dreams, and the Lord done showed me bigger dreams. I've had what I thought were big dreams. And the Lord said, let me lift that up a little bit for you. Let me make this a little bigger for you. But each time I stepped in faith, and I didn't make decisions off of what I thought. I made decisions off of what I desired. Because what I thought was you had to go to school, get a good job, stay there for 30 years, and then retire. That was planned. And so I had to go off what I dreamed for, what I believed, and what I was believing in. And so for some of us, we have to end our Sunday in a place of gratitude, in a space of believing, in a place of dreaming really big, not those little bitty dreams. If you can ask for a little dream, you can ask for a big one. And being really clear about what it is that we're desiring. And then also understanding what work we got to do on ourselves. What work do we have to do on ourselves? Because the Lord ain't going to give it to you if you can't maintain it. So you know that if you're not good with money and you want to make a lot of money, let's get our finances together. Let's learn how to manage the little in order to get the lot. If you know that you want to have a great, healthy, positive relationship, let's work on loving ourselves first so that we can know how to love somebody else. And so the other person can know how to love us as well. If we know that we want a healthy, happy family, let's work on the family that we have now and mend some of those relationships and step away from toxic situations that are no longer good or healthy for us. And so, let's just wind down this Sunday in a different frame of thought, in a different space. And again, I'm gonna go back to where I started. We gotta stop being scared to tell our story. We gotta stop trying to wrap everything in a joke and deflect, and focus on other people. We gotta be willing to tell our story. When that girl Risa Tisa told her story, she gave you the raw truth. She told you what happened, what she went through, how it impacted her, and what she had to do to get through this. And this was part of her therapeutic process to let other women know she did that in a goal to help people. She wasn't trying to go viral. She wasn't trying to be famous. She wasn't trying to make no money. When she put that first video on there, that was the first video. She went to the second video, and then the third video, and then the fourth video. She wasn't waiting for y'all to click. Some of y'all waiting for people to join a live to start talking. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? We don't have to wait for anybody to join. The people who are there, let's honor them. When you say the live is starting, start the live. You say you got a strategy that'll help people, press your button and tell people the strategy that'll help people. Let's get this going. When Sister Tab bit into that sandwich and said that it was the best sandwich that she had ever tasted, and if you want one, gone over to this Whole Food. She wasn't getting paid by Whole Food. She wasn't no sponsor for them. She found something that was really good to her that satisfied her craving as a vegan, and she came on to tell people about it. And guess what? When she came on to tell people about it, that Whole Food said, ma'am, come on, you our new sponsor. Ma'am, sign this deal. Ma'am, you finna be up from here. And she was up. That girl was driving an Uber. She ain't had no job. She was driving an Uber. So we got to get off our high horses, and we got to stop believing that what people say about us matters, because the people who are talking about you, I guarantee you they ain't doing nothing with their life. I guarantee you they're miserable. I guarantee you that they ain't do the thing that they wanted to do, and they surely don't want you to do the thing that you want to do. So we got to be willing to tell our story. We got to be willing to press the button. We got to be willing to share and inspire and motivate others and help some of us who don't know to know. I come on here and I share this because I didn't know. I didn't know. When I found out that I can go into these schools and make money consulting, get multiple contracts, and make more money than I've never seen in my life, I was like, oh, let me tell the other people. Let me tell these other ladies who in this school teaching and they got all of the skills and training. Let me tell them so they can go out here and make some money. I wasn't saying I ain't going to tell nobody because it's going to be less contracts for me. Nah, girl, come on. And I realized that everybody is not ready. I realized that. I realized that you got to do the work on yourself in order to get to where you need to be. I realized that some people are scared to ask for money for their work. Those are things that they have to work through. That's work that they have to do on themselves. But what they won't say is that they didn't know. What y'all won't say is that y'all didn't know, because y'all got this lady who come live on social media all the time. Any chance I get to share this message with y'all. It's a lot of money out here in these schools, folks. It's a lot of money out here in these community organizations. It's a lot of money out here in these private charter schools. It's a lot of money out here in these urban leagues, these 100 Black men, these group homes, these prison systems, these community-based organizations, these domestic violence shelters. I'm telling you, it's money there. I talked to a lady the other day. She said, I've been trying to get this grant. What did Curiosity say? I bet when you told them, they was like, I'm not leaving what is for you is for you. You know what? Look, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Because we like to use a lot of these little scapegoats. What's for you is for you. No, that's a scapegoat. Like that is what people say. Or they'll be saying, I'm waiting on the Lord. Girl, you ain't waiting on the Lord. The Lord waiting on you. The Lord been told you what to do. And when we use that, what's for you is for you. No, you saying that because you're scared. You know you want to leave the school system. All of the people I talked to a lady the other day. She said, I've been applying for grants and I'm trying to get a grant to start my business. And I said, so you're trying to get a grant to start your business? And she was like, yeah. I said, so you expect somebody else to pay for your business? You don't even have enough faith in your own idea to use your own money to pay for it. You are waiting for somebody else to pick you to start the idea that the Lord said that was for you. That don't even make sense. She had never thought about it like that. Then she said, well, I'm going to keep applying for grants and I can get some of this grant money out here for my business. I said, did you ever think about flipping the script? I said, there are other companies and community-based organizations who are applying for grants and who already have grant money. Why don't you be the person who use up that grant money? Why don't you be the person who provides the service that grant is going to pay for instead of you trying to get a grant? It doesn't make sense. Like, we want something for nothing. Tasha says, folks will play in your face when it comes to money. But as for me, I tell them, friend, I charge for that. Okay. That's all you got to do. And ask them, is there a budget line for this, for what you're needing? She said a grant to start your business, baby. Well, oh, you will be amazed at how many women say, I'm trying to get a grant. I'm looking for a grant to start my business. And that's no knock to grants. There are people who get grants. But why would you wait for a grant to start your business? You ain't even got enough faith in your own idea to go and put your own money. To start a business don't cost nothing but to start that LLC. That's all it costs. In Missouri, it's $62. In Chicago, it's $300. In Ohio, it's $52. In Texas, it's what, $300. But we'll pay for a bag. We'll pay for earrings. We'll pay for our nails. We'll pay for a pedicure. We'll pay for this hair in our heads. Come on now. But we won't pay to start a business. So like some of the stuff just don't make sense. She said, baby, I use my own money all the time. And that's a step in faith. That means that you believe in it and it's worthy. If you don't believe it's worthy, why would anybody else believe it's worthy? And why on earth would the Lord say she ready? She ain't ready. She won't even put her own money up for the idea, for the thing to get to the next step. We want something for nothing. The same lady who I was talking to, she said she wanted to make X amount of money. And I said, so what do you plan? How do you plan to get there? And she said, I'm just going to keep filling out RFPs and doing what I'm doing. Well, how many times have you done that? She said, I've done over 20 of them. And how many have you won? None. She ain't won none. Well, your process isn't working, sweetie. You've done it 20 times and you've gotten no bite on it. Have you ever thought about revising your process and doing something different? Maybe getting some support with that? Like we do, we get stuck in our own idea. We get stuck in our own idea. That's right. We'll pay for everybody else's dream except for our own. We'll pay for our kids' dreams. We'll pay for our sisters' dreams. We'll pay, let our parents come and say, I want to learn how to use computers. We will go and find the class for them to go to, enroll them in it, put the directions in their telephone. We'll do all the things for other people except for ourselves. And so these are things that we really have to look at. I'm telling you, as we get ready for this next phase of our life, whatever phase you're in, most of us are in that midlife phase. Like in midlife, it's time for you to get your good life. Okay. You done the things that need to be done for your children and for your family. And now it's time for you. It's time for you to be the star of the show. It's time for you to enjoy your life, to get you some relaxation. It's time for you to press the easy button. You should be operating off of ease and grace and not no hustle and grind. And if you don't know how to do that, then you need to get with somebody who does. You need to upgrade your tribe and think about, what do you want your 60s, 70s, and 80s to look like? Have a vision for that. Think about that tonight. What do you want your 60s, 70s, and 80s to look like? How do you want to live in your 60s, 70s, and 80s? Do you want to be the person who can't turn the heat on because you're worried about what your gas bill going to be? Or are you going to be the person who never goes out of town, can't go on a vacation because you're on such a fixed budget that you can't do anything outside of it? Or are we really going to base our life off $2,000-$3,000 a month? That's all we get. I want you to know that there are more options. There are more options, but you got to be willing to explore it, and you got to be willing to do something different. So, all right, y'all. That's my message for y'all tonight. I hope this helps. Leave me a message in the chat. You know, I'm more than happy. I can come here and talk about all types of stuff. Y'all tell me what y'all want me to talk about. Y'all know I love talking about generational housing and what we're doing in our family to get this up and going, some of the agreements that we have going, some of the ways that we look at houses and how we communicate about it. You know, my 50th celebration, we going all out. That's so much fun, planning. And then really to planning for the next phase, you know, your midlife, planning for it. And I'm not talking about having all these conversations about menopause. You can have those conversations with your doctor and with them other people. We are not letting menopause stop us. Menopause is going to happen whether you want it to or not. So that's going to come, that's going to happen. We're going to leave that conversation for the other thing. But for us, we're going to talk about what it is we want and what it is that we need. And we're going to move forward like that. So that's right, girl. I'll see you on your VIP day. Yay. She said she want to know about buying a house in Ghana. Okay, girl, we might have to get Sister Malika to come on here and talk about her experience. We've been a part of the experience. It's been really interesting. So we get to see the picture updates. And of course, you know, she just got back. It hasn't even been a month. She just got back from South Africa. I'm sorry, West Africa, my fault. She's in Gambia, West Africa. So she just got back. And of course, she FaceTimes us and videos us, and we get to see the production of the building, how they're building the land. And we were actually on a call with her the other day when she was talking to the people, and she had them to put a door up that wasn't there before. And it was really exciting to see this happening in real time. Like, they don't do it the way we do here in the States. It's very different. The dollar is very different there. And of course, we know some things are changing with the dollar over in Africa. And so she's trying to get it finished before the dollar takes place. So she was trying to get everything paid for. So that's taken care of. And it was really interesting. It was great to be able to be a part of that process. And she also won another contract because she does government contracting. And so, yeah, it's just a lot that we can learn from one another and help each other. But I'm telling y'all, let's work on this sisterhood. Let's work on this sisterhood. All right, y'all, have a good rest of y'all night. It's the Sunday